What? We are live. Hey everyone, welcome to today's Freedom-Preneur Show. Guys, this is Rhonda Swan. I am actually calling in today from my home office here in Bali, Indonesia. As you can see, my daughter Hanalei has been gone wild on the whiteboard. But that's the greatest part about being a freedompreneur is you're able to be and work with your kids in the house. It's a little hot right now, so if I start to look a little sticky, it's for good reasons. It's because it's hot as heck here in Bali right now, but it's really amazing to be here with all of you. I'm actually, you guys can see my little daughter Hanalei. She's an artist. That's her art room back there. And it's so fun about being a freedompreneur is that we're actually able to be with our daughter every single day, travel around the world. And guys, I'm really excited to have you join us and start getting a glimpse inside of our world called the Unstoppable Family's life and this freedompreneur world, because this is a show, guys, that I host every single week. In fact, I've been hosting this show, had a different name before, but literally this show for probably over 8 years. And I started hosting these shows to not only inspire other people that are looking to possibly look at different business models that they may leverage so they can add not only maybe multiple streams of income, but to even transfer their life and their business just like we did. Hey guys, oh, there's Brian and Drew upstairs in the top deck. They're probably a lot cooler than I am. I'm sweating over here in the office. But at any rate, guys, this is what this show is created for, is to help open the mindset of newly entrants to the online world, small business owners that actually need to learn a bit about social media marketing or how to leverage the internet for your current small business, and for those that are like, I have a complete lifestyle change that I'm looking for. And many of you guys do know our story, and I won't go too deeply into it, but this is the gist. I was a corporate executive, guys, 11 years ago with my master's degree in business. I was a high-end executive running the Western Division pharmaceutical sales industry. And I one day watched and witnessed a woman putting a child into daycare. And I hadn't had a child at that time. And what I realized, it was like a switch that went off in my head. And I thought, what am I doing? Why am I actually doing this? This woman just put a brand new 6-week-old child into daycare, and she had to pick her up at 7 o'clock at night. Now, there was a switch off at me that made me realize that we are not here to allow someone else to raise our children. We are put on this earth, right, because we have a purpose and because we have a voice and we have a vision. And we've all been kind of sold the same old BS story. I don't care where you live around the world, but that BS story is that you need to get a great education so you can get a great job so that you can have insurance and you can allow a company and a government to take care of you. Well, guys, I'm going to be probably not the first to say, but as far as I'm concerned, guys, the only way that we're going to truly create life, success, and pure happiness in our world, we're going to have a dog and a cat issue here in a minute. Many of you guys know we have dog and cat problems in my house. One's pregnant. The dog's ready to eat her. Oh, God, look at this. I got to show you guys. Uh-oh. I just got to show you guys. Oh, that could get interesting. But as you guys know, here in the Freedom-Preneur Show, it's all about life, right? This is what it's about. But today we're specifically talking about business. And but anyways, that's what really happened is I realized that, we can't rely on the government. We can't rely on our jobs to really create stability in our lifestyles, in our lives, especially for our families. Because truly, guys, when you start working for a corporation, you're building their dreams. You're building someone else's vision. Now, as much as it gave me an incredible life, and as much as it gave me, hold on one second, Brian's kind of doing something to my computer. Not sure why.
I got to make sure you're on this one because it's blurry.
Oh, okay, so you guys are thinking I'm blurry? Yep. I should be good to go. But at any rate, guys, as much as we feel that our mission is to help you become a freedompreneur, meaning that you think free, that you earn free, and that you truly take responsibility for your own lives. Now, I say this because I am a mother, and I am an example to my child that I want her to know that she doesn't have to rely on anyone to create who she wants to be in the world or to have what she really wants. And I think, guys, if we start doing this for our families and becoming role models to our children, look what's going to happen to this world. We're in a shift. You know, like we're right now, our families were baby boomers, right? My parents were baby boomers. And although they were, my dad had his own business, they really didn't have that mindset that we've got today. So these new millenniums, these kids that are growing up right now in the new millennial years, they understand how to leverage the internet because the internet wasn't around when our parents were born, right? So here we are, these you know, new entrants really to the online world. I've been online for 11 years. My partner here, Drew, has been online for probably over 9-10 years as well. I'm going to introduce Drew in a second. But none of this stuff was available, guys. This live stream wasn't even around. Facebook, not around. YouTube had just opened when I started my online business 11 years ago in 2005 in January. Had just started. Social media, none of this stuff was around. So what we're seeing now is if we can actually be a representation, we right now, you as a parent to your children, or to the kids that are growing up around the world, and we begin to show how to leverage the internet, how to actually take a current business you may have and bring it online, we're going to change the platform of this world. We're going to change the platform of how not only information is shared, but how businesses are built. And so, guys, today I'm really pumped because, you know, today's show is specifically about that. You know, through my 11 years, I have put together really what I think is really the 8 pillars that are needed to build an online business. And it doesn't matter what niche that you're in or what industry that you're in. You require all of these 8 pillars. And let me read them through to you right now because some of you guys have heard many of them, but many of you maybe go, oh, what is that? I have no idea what that is. And it starts off very simply, right? We have to have great mindset. We have to understand personal development and great mindset. That's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is you have to understand what your brand is and how to build a legacy. You know, your personal brand, your story, why you do what you do. Fantastic. Don't you love the dogs in the back? It's really amazing to have dogs barking in the back while you're hosting a show. But, you know, it's the life, guys. Look at, and I'm sweating. This is awesome. Should have went in my room in the air conditioner. So make some noise below, guys, if you just love the freedom lifestyle that we've got going on. Because, you know, it's funny. Actually, I actually love it because most people would be hosting a show, and they're really sterile, right? They're in a studio, or they got their mic on, they got their headset on. It's all official. But how can you represent the pure Freedom-Preneur lifestyle if you're not sweating, living in Bali, your dogs are barking, you got your partners and your husband upstairs on the top deck looking at a volcano and the ocean? See, guys, if you're going to learn from somebody, learn from people that are doing it. That's what I've always learned. So I decided if I'm going to teach people how to live this lifestyle, I better sure as hell be living it. All right, I digressed. Let me get back. So we did mindset, building your blog and your legacy, actually choosing, to make sure I'm putting them in order that I have, my normal order. You're choosing a business model. This is a big one, guys. Choosing the proper business model. A lot of you guys are here going, okay, how do I do this? How do I build a business online? Well, there's a lot of different business models, and we'll touch on a few of them today that you can actually begin leveraging immediately, right? Inside of our academy that we've just recently released, you know, we show you how to become an affiliate of another company. That's actually how I started. I started becoming and selling other people's products because if I aligned with them, I didn't have a product of my own, but I thought, heck, there's a company that I can trust and I love the product, why not represent it, right? So there's MLM-style businesses, which are where you, let's say a lotion, a potion, you might love it, makeup, stuff like that. You're able to pretty much face-to-face, door-to-door offer the products. Or there's online models, which we love the most is in the affiliate world. You can build a blog, right, and offer and share affiliate products that are related to your niche. And then, of course, there's different types of business models, the ascension model. We're going to discuss that today, the top-tier ascension model, because that's my experts or my guest's expertise. And we're going to discuss that because I want you guys to understand there's so many different models that you can choose, but there are certain ones that are more profitable than others, others that can take you to a much quicker point of start to finish, right, of where you actually want to be and how that'll help you leverage. And all of you are in a different place in your decision making. You're all in a different spot, so we want to assist you guys in getting there. But let's see, pillar number 4 is sales funnels and profit machines. Now, many of you guys, because I've been recently working with a lot of small business owners that have never worked online, they're like, a sales funnel? Ah, what is that? This freaks me out. Well, a sales funnel is a way that you guys actually can put a blog up online or walk people through a process of them understanding what you do and how they can get your product or your service. And a profit machine is just simply that, turning your blog, something online, into making you profits well, we like to say while you sleep, because you learn the right marketing. So we're going to discuss that as well. We share that deeply inside of our academy. And then number 5 is, number 6 is back end and follow up. What the heck does that mean? In the backside of your blog, in the backside of your website, you got to have a follow up machine. You have to have a way to connect with your audience. And so if you guys have a blog, you need to be having a follow up at a back end, meaning if many of you guys have subscribed to my unstoppablemama.com blog or unstoppablefamily.com blog, please do that if you haven't. You'll notice that we send you emails every day. I send you high-value based emails daily. Now, do you guys think that I wake up at 5 in the morning and I'm getting ready for an email for you? Many times I do, but most of the time now, guys, because I've done it for so long, I've actually put all my amazing blog posts and my content to connect with my audience inside what's called an autoresponder. So that now in my business, every day I get to connect with my audience and they feel like I'm talking to them. Can you imagine if you guys had like a villa, like one of our tribe members, Inge and Tom, they live here in Bali, they're putting a blog together. And now they're putting a back-end sequence so then people are interested in their villa, they can actually connect with them and they've got their email. So it's a way for you to connect with people, grab their email so that you can stay connected with them all the time and you don't have to have a business card. The old way of doing it was the business cards. Now we connect through invited email. So number 7, guys, is social media. You need to understand how to leverage social media, how to utilize and leverage Facebook, how to leverage Instagram. Right now, the hottest, Facebook and Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram. The hottest online marketing media that you could be in right now is Facebook and Instagram. Right? They know how to target, they know how to find your audience, and they know how to help you get more information and content about your audience as a small business owner. Now, of course, there's these new ones, Snapchat, which I haven't even tapped into yet, but Gary Vee is forcing me to say, Rhonda, you need to go into Snapchat because that's where the young millenniums are playing, and you need to learn from them. I'm like, dang it, you're right. So I'm going to have to jump onto Snapchat, but I haven't used Snapchat quite yet. But then there's, of course, there's the Twitter. Guys, there's so many different platforms that you need to understand how to leverage and pick the ones that work the best for your business. And, of course, we teach more deeply into that. We've got full courses on Instagram and on Twitter inside of our academy. But then last, guys, is webinar sales and creating your own products. See, some of you guys have come here because you're like, wow, I love what you guys do, but I don't want to be an affiliate. I've been doing this for a long time. I actually learned how to build my own products. See, and that's typically the development phase that a lot of people go through. They start poking around. They know they have bigger purpose. They know they have a vision in this world, and then they decide, I need to put a product together. Or maybe they've learned something through their history, and they've written a book, and they're like, gosh, what if I could take what I know, record it in video, box it up inside of a membership site, like our academy, right? And then offer it to people to be inside and learn from you. And then you launch live workshops online. And then you host a live event like we do for all of our tribe members, which we're learning, then we bring them live. Wouldn't that be cool if you guys had the opportunity to learn how to do that? And so this is the 8 pillars that I feel it really encompasses every single thing that we do in online marketing. Whether you're a small business owner that doesn't even have any online presence, you need all of these elements in order to reach more people, right? And so these are the 8 core elements that I really feel are the most important and that we touch on. It's something that I've learned over the last 11 years. And so what we're going to touch on today, though, guys, is I think one of those missing elements. It's a featured element inside of our 8 pillars, but it's a missing element that most business owners have let go, or because they're so busy, they're unable to add this one main component. You want to know what it is? I'm not going to tell you yet. Hold on. I'm not going to tell you because I want to bring out my guests, guys, and I want you guys. There's hundreds and sometimes thousands of people that are watching the show. If you're on the main page, please make some noise where you're from and really get excited about my guest because I've known this gentleman, and it truly is a gentleman. You'll hear his voice when he speaks. I've known him for over 9 years. Actually, working online, we met at an online marketing event, a network marketing event with a company that we were both representing at the time. And although our paths began to change because that company went down, and there's another reason why I want to teach you guys how to be a sovereign freedompreneur, is because many times companies do change their values. They change what happens in the comp plan, and what happens is then no longer can you represent it because they don't align with your values, or they close the doors. So this is what happened with Drew and I. Myself, Brian, and Drew, and his wife, Lou, we all met at a network marketing event, and we became very close. We worked very closely together. We realized that we shared the same family values. We shared the same business values. And I tell you what, guys, when you're choosing someone to work with, when you're choosing a mentor, when you're choosing a business, when you're choosing a model, I always check myself and ask, what are my values? And I check what the company values, or the company owner's values, or my mentor's values are. And Drew, myself, Brian, and Lulu have the same similar values. And so although the company went down and we parted our own personal ways and began working with other companies, started creating our own products and our own programs, we've never burned that bridge, because you never know, guys, what happens with one or two people that you might meet in your life that can completely change your world. You come back together and help each other bring your mission to the world, and that's actually what just recently happened. We reconnected with Drew. Drew actually invited myself and Brian and several of our tribe members here. Many of you guys know Regina and Mike, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube experts in the sign language world, and they're teachers and trainers in our academy, invited us to come and teach and to represent what we do to the Online Alliance group. And guys, we've created a shift. We've created a relationship that's going to now take online marketing to a whole new level of understanding. It's no longer about how can I get you to buy something that I've got so I can make money, and then I'll show you how to make money doing that same thing. Did you hear what I just said? Complete mishmash, isn't it? Sounds completely ridiculous. For me to ask you to buy something so I can make money so that I can sell it to you so you can buy the same thing. No, we've changed it. We want people to understand how to leverage the internet, how to be wholeheartedly in alignment with what you're offering, help you create your own products, but also leverage the successes that heart-centered, integrity-based, ethical-based marketers and leaders have put together so that you can build and stand on your own 2 feet. So, all right, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to do this introduction. I've got to make sure that you guys get this, because this guy's incredible. We believe we come from the same cloth, and I know you guys are sick of my blah, blah, blahs.
And they're about to get my blah, blah, blah.
But you're going to get Drew, so don't worry, because he's much slower than I. I get a lot more information in a shorter period of time usually. I'm teasing. I'm joking. I digress. Okay, guys, listen. Drew's been working online for over 9 years. He's been the owner of multi-million-dollar past construction company before he started working online. Since then, he has built multiple 7-figure businesses, and now he's one of the most sought-after coaches and trainers in the online industry. Drew is hired, and his sales team and phone team has been hired by top-tier companies from all over the online world. He's been hired by top online marketers to be the phone team and the connector between a brand new marketer and someone looking to choose and make a good decision for their life and for their business. He's chosen by these top online marketers because Drew knows what to ask the right questions. He knows how to help you make a good decision. And he helps people go through the business planning process. You know, when you're starting in your business, you need to understand the process, and walks you through the strategies to making good decisions, right? Not making good decisions because I need you to buy something. Making a decision because you're investing in you. You're investing in your future, and it makes sense to do it. And I'm more than elated to really share and announce our relationship with the Online Alliance, the Freedom-Preneur movement that the Unstoppable family has been dreaming of and brewing inside of our soul for several years, because all that I spoke about earlier is what I feel we're answering today. All those issues that I've had to decide to put it together and take it under my own wing so that I can offer and share it with you. But guys, Drew's team is powerful, and I want to introduce Drew Innes to our show today, because we're going to put him on the hot seat. He's not only going to outline to you how he works with his clients, but truly, guys, I'm excited to talk about what we did in the event, Drew, this last week, to where we're going and how we're going to be able to serve our audience. And, dude, take it away. I got my software. How are you upstairs in the house?
Now, that is a build-up. I've got some big shoes to fill, but I've adopted the Bali lifestyle. I don't have any shoes on. You wouldn't get this at home. I'd be sitting there in my loafers with my headset on.
Anyway,
Hey, look,
yeah.
look. I mean, what do I say? That was a wonderful introduction, and I just want to sort of maybe just touch on a couple of things, because I know we've got so much meat and potatoes to get into today, as I like to say, but there's a couple of things that I just want to reinforce and just make sure that everyone on the call is clear about this. The value of relationships cannot be undervalued. The value of relationships cannot be undervalued. You don't know who the next person that you come in contact with, how they're going to change your life in some way, shape or form, and it may not necessarily be today, it may be in years to come. Case in point, you know, the relationship that I've always honoured and respected and kept on track with Brian and Rhonda and her family. And, you know, whilst we've had various movements throughout our business careers online, in and out of different companies, we've always respected the integrity and the value of the relationship that we've had above all else. You know, I've been asked multiple times to go and recruit these guys into every company that I've been selling for, or you know, or coaching for, or whatever I've been doing with them. You know, it's not uncommon that they'll say, hey Drew, you know, you're tight with Brian and Rhonda. We need them in our company. You have to go get them. So, yeah, so above all else, I actually, you know, I'm pretty proud of myself that I've, you know, stayed true to course and held that relationship above all else. So I want to thank you guys for obviously being the friends that you are to me and Lulu and Levi and Avalon. The fact that you invited me last year to come and speak to your community, and I think that was one of the first times that you've had a sort of outsider at the level that I was in another organisation come in and share some of my expertise and time with your tribe, and I really appreciate that. And I also love that you reciprocated for me just recently at the Online Alliance Digital Lifestyle Workshop. So, and you know, like, and you've mentioned to me that, you know, people are reaching out saying, we know something's brewing. What's brewing? There's a lot of chatter in the background, and I suppose this call that we're on, this hangout, is maybe are we revealing everything? What are we doing here today?
Well, I think what I want to do is put on some hot seats so you can teach some people on, maybe I'll ask you a couple questions, and we want to share with some people, yeah, what our vision is, what our mission is here.
Awesome.
You know, this call, guys, as you know, is never about selling. It's all about value. We're going to offer you some value first. We certainly do have some really cool stuff happening, like live events that we're putting on together for all, you know, entrepreneurs from around the world to really leverage what we're up to. Drew's we've got a couple things up our sleeve, and we want to, you know, I always say this, Drew, that, you know, education at this point, education really is readily available on the internet. You know, you can go from getting full Facebook courses to understanding exactly how to leverage YouTube, how to build a blog. You can get everything for free, guys. You can.
Yeah. Here's the issue with that. It's a bit of a blessing and a curse, and that's one of the things that I've found, having worked with thousands of people over the course of the last 3 years particularly, and particularly when it comes to online marketing. There is a plethora of training, resources, tools, and it's readily at your disposal, and like you said, a lot of it is even free. But it's a bit like that picture where you see somebody with the fire hose in their face, and it's just like, you know, it's just blaring down the pipe at them. What I'm finding is, and everyone would know this age-old adage, that knowledge is power, and that's correct. But what's more powerful than just the knowledge is the semblance of the knowledge. It's actually how you organize, categorize, and how you disseminate the knowledge to the person that requires it at the right time to give them exactly what they need to allow them to move from where they are to where they need to get to. So what I find with a lot of online marketers and or online marketing information is it's just too much. And you need someone to narrow the field and say, hey, you know what? After listening to you, we've got a strategy that we know will work for you because it's going to be centered around you, what's important to you. It's going to be something that is going to allow you to take what you need right now and build upon it, and then allow you to actually get exactly what you want without this sort of fire hose approach, so that we take people through micro lessons and we take people through a step-by-step process, because it's like the way that you see the world. You know, whenever you're asked to do something new, there's always that hesitancy for many people, that fear and doubt, and a lot of the times that's enough to hold people back. But it's all about getting some newfound knowledge, and when you get that newfound knowledge, it's almost like you elevate yourself to a whole new perspective, and then from that new perspective, the next step becomes available to you, and then you gain more knowledge, and then you elevate again, and you've got more perspective. So I sort of find everything that we do is designed to allow people to receive information that way and to elevate themselves slightly from where they are, so they can see the world through a whole different perspective and go, hey, you know what? This isn't as scary as I thought. You know, I can actually do this. I can do this thing called online marketing, because now someone has actually removed the obstacles or the fear and doubt and given me the perspective, the leadership, you know, leadership, if you want to call it that, the helping hand, but just made the road a lot more clearer for people.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more, Drew. And that's, I think, what happens is most people, you know, they can poke around and they get interested, and what happens is they end up buying all kinds of different courses, overpriced courses, and then what happens is certainly one person has a great philosophy, but then you want to learn how to use a blog, you want to learn how to, you know, build an affiliate company or affiliate, you know, marketing, or you want to build residual streams of income, but there's so much out there, so they're getting advice from so many different places.
Yeah.
And, you know, so yes, information's free, but I really look at it as how people decide is who they really want to work with. You know, this information, if you find the right people that know what they're talking about, have done it, then we can narrow that playing field and allow them to take bite-by-bite steps, or you know, small steps along the way, so they can begin to understand. I mean, I know a lot of people that we work with, you know, they're like just entry, and then there's so much on the far end, right? So this is why we've decided to partner together, because we've got so much core competencies that we can leverage off of, which is getting someone really started, walking through the process, then moving up into the ascension model, is which I know that you like to call it, and that's something that why I'm really excited about this partnership, because that's what we believe in, is helping people get there, and then when they get to that point they're in, how do they start taking that deeper steps higher into building multiple streams or understanding it?
Yeah. You mentioned two words that are really dear to my heart. You know, again, just coming back from the reality that I've worked with thousands of people over the course of the years, you know, from day one entrants to intermediates that are frustrated to advanced marketers that are just looking for just probably two things. How do I go from, you know, sort of earning at this level and being more effective at that level, you know, right up to experts that would invite me in to test their sales funnels and do calls for them and all that sort of stuff. Two things you mentioned: skills and competencies. Skills and competencies. And what I also find, and here's the lesson in this, guys, you've all heard of the shiny object syndrome. Right? The biggest issue with the shiny object syndrome is that you don't allow enough time in any one product or service or mentor or coach. You don't usually allow enough time to actually really decipher for you whether there's skills there and or core competencies that you can develop by learning from that person. And again, you know, what I would recommend is try and start silencing the noise. You don't need multiple coaches. You don't need multiple mentors. You need, well, when I say you don't need multiple, you don't need over a handful. You need to be realistic, and that is, to be successful in online marketing, it comes down to about 5 core fundamental areas that you need to focus on. So if you need to go get a mentor or a coach or a guide for each one of the core fundamentals that you want to focus on, then do that. But don't spread yourself too wide and be following too many people. I'd start to narrow down who are your key influencers, who are your key educators, who are the people that really inspire you, and just stay focused on a couple. Take what you need, leave the rest, and allow that time to sort of, as I say, marinate, to elevate yourself to the next level, because from that new perspective, you can be more discerning with your time and what you need to to grow to the next level in the evolution of you as a sovereign entrepreneur or freedompreneur. You know, so shiny object syndrome is the worst thing that you can do. I sort of say you don't need another product, you don't really need another service, you need to consolidate what you've got, you need to get a really good strategy, and you need to understand what the core fundamentals are, focus on those with a coach and mentor to guide you, and let's get you moving forward so you've got that new vantage point.
Yeah, that's powerful, Drew, and I think most people here will really relate to that, because I think that's what happens quite often, is they get rather stuck and then they don't have anything to guide them through. And that's where I said earlier, I'm not going to tell you yet, which is that core element that I feel that most businesses have been leaving out. Especially in my our experiences, we always were the phone callers. We were always the ones that walked people through and guided them. What happens, I think, in most, especially in online businesses, is they don't have someone that can really be there to guide them. And you being now, one of the top most sought after online coaches that works for high ticket companies and works for other top marketers, help guide their people through so that they can do what they're good at. If I could ask you a couple questions, Drew, I think people will really respect it, and then we'll kind of go into
awesome.
some new things that we're doing. Is what would you say probably are some of the biggest roadblocks that you do see in new entrants into this online marketing? Where do you think that they get stuck at when you're first making your initial strategy calls or discovery calls that we would?
Yeah, I think the biggest things that keep people stuck or anxious or frustrated is that the bottom line is they're oversold. It's almost the moment you move into this industry, somebody's selling to you, and I sort of call that the hunter or the hunted mentality. So as the result of them feeling oversold, they become very untrusting, very nervous about who they can receive their information from and or trust, to be that coach or guide to move them along in their business. I mean, everyone comes into this with their own story. Obviously everyone's got a story, and I find that when I peel the onion to everyone's story, at the core, we've all got the same things going on. We've all got the same desires that we want to find ways that we can meaningfully contribute and serve. We all want to spend more time with the people that are most valuable to us, and that typically is family, and then inner circle, and so on and so forth. And we're all commercially pragmatic enough to realize that we've got to make some money to do that, but we've got to make money in a heart-centered way where whatever you're doing creates what I call transformative value, right? It's got to have transformative value built into it, because if it doesn't, then it's not sustainable, because it goes against universal flow. We all get that, right? So we don't have to go down too far down the path. So I find where new entrants or the person that...
Hey, Drew, hold on a second. Your wind upstairs is kicking a little bit, so you're getting a bit of distortion in your mic.
Okay. Should I go over that side?
Just move sideways. I think that the wind flow is creating some. But it's good. This is like, there we can see Can we see the volcano in the back? Possibly. But this is right. Nothing like being able to say, "Hey, man, move over while you're in this call because the sea breeze is too strong in your microphone."
That's great. I know. And now I've turned my back to the surf. I think I have to turn fully around. Anyway. Yeah, so I think what holds people back is that it's this fire hose. It's that there is so much out there. So assuming that you do take that first step in trusting a product or a service or someone that's offering something to you, then it's normally not organized in a manner where the person can actually consume it at a rate where it doesn't become overwhelming, but at the same time it's meaningful. So information needs to be structured in a way where, because I think the best learning we do is micro learning. If we can do little micro lessons, little micro learnings where we can teach people, through audio, through visual, through reading, so we hit all of those different learning styles, then we've got the best chance for that new person to step along and get what they need, because that not only do they need those micro lessons delivered that way, it also needs to be fundamental information, just fundamentals. Because when I look at why someone who's an advanced, maybe an intermediate trying to transition to advanced marketing is struggling, it's because when you look at their business, some of the core fundamental principles that must be in place just simply in place. So they've been off to a quick start. They've been able to get some runs on the board because maybe they've got a high converting offer and they sent a good, solo ad traffic to it, or they had a high converting offer and someone recommended something else and that worked. But then behind that, there's not these underpinning core fundamentals. It's a bit like building the foundation to a house. If you want a house to stand the test of time, no different to you wanting your internet marketing business or online business to stand the test of time, you got to put the work into the foundation because you want your business to be here in perpetuality. If this is the asset, the legacy that you're building, that you want to create a lifestyle like this, you don't want fits and spurts. You don't want it like, falling down like a house of cards. You want to build those foundational things. So that's the second thing that I think is missing. And then I think the third thing that's missing is they don't have somebody to take their hand and either put together with them, so I'd call that done with you services, right? Done with you services, or they don't know who to trust to outsource to get completely done for them services in place. And when I talk about done for you or done with you, what we're really talking about then are things that are integrated into the core fundamentals. Let's just wrap it all up into digital assets, online digital assets that go to work for you 24/7, 365, so you can create little multiple streams of income coming in, probably having some good, really solid educational core front-end products, possibly having some back-end products. If you're a business owner that's never heard the term Ascension, working with them to develop something beyond what they have as front-end offers. So these are all the fundamental things that I think are also missing from most people that I speak to.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's what happens, especially with many new online new entrants. This is why we see, hear these statistics about people working on the internet, is because they just are misguided and there's too many missing elements that they just don't get in place. And even if you're someone that's not even running an online business, you're just looking to bring your current business, and elevate it so you can connect with more people across the world. There's those core elements. So they're putting it, and they're like posting Facebook ads, but they really don't understand the fundamentals of how to make it work and how to do the follow-up.
Exactly.
There you go. You're moving around. It looks like you're floating in the air now.
I know. This is going to work better. Sorry, I'm going to hide behind this column too to block the wind out. Is that better?
A little bit, but you're still getting crosswind.
That's okay.
Good. It's all good. All good. And so we're going to have a couple people. They're going to be able to ask you some questions as well. But why don't we share? You mentioned a few things that we've more recently been really heavily focusing on, of course, which is done with you services, meaning you get guidance along the way, the right training, the right resources to really build your own, let's say, online marketing strategies, or learn Facebook and media, building a blog, inside of those 8 pillars that I like to call that are necessary to build a business. But now we're introducing what we're like to call done-for-you services. And you hit on a key element that most people want services done for them, but what ends up happening, they don't really have a trusted resource. They don't have a trusted group that can help them do that. And I think that this is part of why too we've created what's called the Freedom-Preneur Marketplace, because I realized that was a missing gap also, where we've got all these amazing people that I trust. Why allow our tribe or have our tribe go finding people where they can actually go right inside of our tribe and use the right people and leverage the expertise that they've got. But even more importantly, if someone really is looking for the right model and a structure that they can have done for them, they need to find it in the right place. So when you're talking about done for you services, what are you really talking about? Because I know there's some new things that we're releasing, but why don't we share with everyone where we're coming from and why we're now moving into this this way as an option for people that are looking to have more services done for them.
Yeah, okay, cool, that's great. Yeah, well, again, it's really tied back to the fundamentals, and I want people to sort of visualize, when you make a decision, visualize this. When you make a decision that you want to, as I call it, stake your claim on the internet, then you've got to establish what I call positioning assets. So they're positioning assets. They're assets. So an asset is something that is going to be of value to you and others, right? So assets. It's going to be income producing if it's built the right way. Positioning, when we use the term positioning assets, it's got to position you as an expert in whatever it is that you want to position yourself as an expert in. And a lot of people hold themselves back there because they say, well, I'm just starting out. I'm not an authority. I'm not an expert in anything. Well, the fact of the matter is you probably are. We just need to work with you in terms of your brand positioning to figure out with you what that looks like, and then we can build positioning assets on the internet for you. So first and foremost, it would start with your online website, your brand, your blog, or your branding site, as we like to call it. So that's the first thing. I like to visualize it like this. It's like the centerpiece. It's like if you were a big finance company at the big end of town, you would probably want to have the tallest building in the financial district, proud and tall, showcasing your financial services to the world. No different for an online marketer, particularly someone just getting started. You want a branded positioning asset, your website, front and center, on the internet, that's showcasing you, the things that you're passionate about, how you can contribute and serve, the products and services that you think are of value and meaningful, that provide that transformative value to the market that you're focusing on. That needs to be there. Okay, so that's the centerpiece. Secondly, you need to take a position in all of the key social media realms that can be integrated into your content creation and distribution strategy, and that then will work. They'll work together with your blog or your personal branding site to further position you as an authority. And it's one way in which you're going to reach your audience. And given where we are today and the advent and take-up of social media, it's just something that you can't ignore. And I know many of you will be sitting there and saying, yeah, but you know what, I'm not that social, or I don't look good on camera, or I don't know what to take pictures of, or I don't have your lifestyle. You're overthinking it. You're way overthinking it, because some strategies can be deployed that just utilize the technology for lead generation and creating potential customers for you to work with, and others are more about, just like Brian and Rhonda, exemplifying the lifestyle, being a product of the product, like literally being the brand that they showcase in all of the social media realms. So you're going to need all the social media. You're going to need all the key social media sites, and we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and so on. Rhonda, you showed an interesting statistic. I think it was you that showed a slide about Brendan Burchard and his what he talked about Facebook. Do you remember what that was? Was that you or one of the other speakers?
I believe it was Kim that shared that one.
Okay. So one of the speakers at our digital lifestyle event just here in Bali over the course of the last few days had a slide in his slide deck, and basically Brendan Burchard, who I regard as one of the the most formidable coaches in the marketplace today, who works with all of the big names. He said basically something to the words of this effect, that if you're not in Facebook and you're not using Facebook as a marketing tool, then you're not in business. Yeah. Essentially, that was the crux of what he was saying.
What he also said, that if you're not spending, I think, $1,000 per day, you're crazy.
Boom. That was it.
Yeah.
If you're not spending at least $1,000 per day advertising your message, then you're actually not really in business either. Now, I know that statement is probably freaking everyone out on the call, because let me tell you, when I saw that slide come up, it started to freak me out as well. But as soon as I read it, the next thing that I thought was, This reinforces my decision to go and get coached by Brendan Bouchard, because he is the foremost expert in coaching in the world. And the message in that is, you've got to continue to invest in yourself. Irrespective of where you think you are in your personal journey of success, there's always lessons to be learned. So when I saw that slide come up, that was, for me, that was like a bit of a message. It was a tap on the shoulder to say, you know what, you need to register for his course in November, and you need to be there learning from the best.
Well, I agree, and I want to add to that, because what it did for me, in my perspective, instantly when I saw that slide, was that all of us are in a different position in our learning, right? We're all in a level where you did your first investment, and then you begin to market. For me, it was like, it's just time to level up your business. If you really want to be multiple seven-figure earner that not only just is an earner but an inspiration to teach other people where to get where you are, you've got to begin to invest deeper. Not only live events, but investing in your market. A lot of people get into business, and they actually, they're told that, oh, you can do all kinds of free strategies. Yes, there are free strategies that you can leverage, but when you're in business, we don't start businesses thinking that we're going in it, investing, and then you have nothing to start with. You've got to really put a business structure in place. And when I read that, it made me instantly go, okay, it's leveling up time. You might be, if you're investing $5 a day, $10 a day, you're having successes, invest more into your marketing until you get to that point where you're truly in business. And I explained to the group, and shared this with our group, private VIPs that came to this specific workshop and mastermind, which was so that we could really physically get all the work done for them. They actually came to create really and to take home a business in a box. But what I remember, we were discussing is that, when you are, when you're building your business, you have to look at this like it's a real business, right? When you're building an online business, like a franchise, you invest in a franchise $300,000 to $500,000 when you first invest in that franchise. And you don't break even for minimum 3 to 5 years. You might make about 80 grand a year, but that's still not an ROI in your business. We have to look at our businesses. If we're investing in something and we're putting in a strategy in place, you have all the online assets that are needed. Doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. You still need all of the online assets, whether you're selling like a villa, you're selling yoga, online courses, or you're of another company. You still have to look at it like it's a business. Invest in you, invest in your marketing, invest in your strategies and your coaching, just like we do every day, that in order to get you to that point. I remember sharing with our group, I probably spend over several $100,000 a year on investing in myself, travel, in events, and investing in coaching so that I can assist our group here, our tribe, so that then I can also level myself up. So it doesn't matter what stage you're in, you've always got to be investing yourself more and more and attending more events and learning from other people so that you can level up.
Yeah, exactly. It's really key. I mean, you asked me what are the key things that people struggle with when they first get started. So you've just actually addressed one of the points. So I won't harp on it, but I'll just reinforce a couple of things. If you're not investing in your own personal and professional development, if you're not investing in your business, if you're not investing time to develop a marketing plan and a business plan and an execution plan, and if you're not investing in traffic, then you don't really have a business. What you have is a hobby, right? And so what everyone needs to, decipher and really quickly is, if you're going to stake your claim in the internet because you see that as a vehicle to allow you to create a more meaningful life where you can harmoniously integrate work, life, and play, and do it potentially from exotic vacation destinations like this, or leverage the internet to locate you wherever it's meaningful to you, then unless you're sort of prepared to make those investments, right, the ones that I just mentioned, business plan, marketing plan, investment plan, traffic, and investment in yourself, continuous personal and professional development, you have a hobby, and I haven't seen anyone in this industry succeed when they approach it like a hobby. Mm-hmm. What I do tend to see is that people can pretty quickly turn their hobby or their passion into a dislike, right? I just said something that's really key. I see a lot of people come into this wanting to leverage their hobby or their passion to achieve their end goal, which is, say, let's just sum it up as time, money, location, freedom, right? Only to see the hobby or the passion turn into a dislike because they become so frustrated that it's not serving them in that direction. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and that's, I think that happens. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. That happens to small business owners. They love, being a cake designer, and all of a sudden they get into business and they don't have the structures in place or the management tools in place, and then they end up just running a business and not creating cakes anymore. So they take all that passion they had because they want to serve more people, but instead of finding a structure in place to run the business side of it all and allow you to create, they lose their passion for it, and then they fail, or they just quit altogether. And I see that in online marketing. People are like, no, I want to, I'm a great writer, or I love what I do, or I want to travel, and I want to share with people, and I want to help them get to the places that they would need to be. What happens, you get bogged down. And that, Drew, I think is why we're really now starting to lean on understanding what are the necessary and the required elements that are needed to help you.
Yeah. Okay.
Your business, you have, virtual assistants, or you have, where to leverage and where to find what it takes.
Yeah. So let's sort of let's move quickly now through these other elements. So everyone needs to have some type of online head office. We talked about the blog. They obviously need something that is a hook or an enticement offer, something, a lead magnet. You've all heard these terms probably. That's where you offer something of value to your target audience to entice them to engage with you. So you need something in that regard. And again, I see that as the #1 reason why a lot of people actually don't get started doing anything, because they procrastinate and agonize over the perfect lead magnet, and because they either don't know how to go about doing it themselves or accessing somebody who can help them do it with them, they do nothing at all. Just over a simple lead magnet. That becomes the end of their journey in online marketing, and that's just silly, because the help and the guidance is all around you. So lead magnet, we need one of those, and that's usually your initial one to get up and running, is the best version that it can be based on what your target market is. And again, if you're somebody that's on this call right now and you're thinking, well, hey, that's me, that's exactly where I'm at, I'm just really struggling to figure out what that perfect lead magnet is, that just tells me that you need a strategy session and a coaching call to clear that blockage. And then if you're not technically minded, it just means that you need access to an outsourcing team that can, pull that together for you quite quickly. Excuse me. And then the next thing that you need is you need a way to capture those inquiries, right, and automatically respond to them, because you want to be able to leverage your time, and you also want to have queued up and thought about the way in which you want to communicate with people, right? It's called engagement. So the benefit of actually having an autoresponder system, and there's many available, and they're not overly expensive, and they're relatively easy to set up, and again, there's help all around you if you don't know how to go about that. Then you're going to need a way of automatically capturing leads and following up. And again, this is one of the fundamental things that I see wrong in a lot of people's businesses. Their websites are nothing more than an online brochure. Whereas if your website is designed in a manner to capture an audience and then engage with the audience, that fundamental autoresponder, that whole little system there that automatically follows up and communicates your message consistently to the new people that are now attracted to you, that has to be in place. All right, and that's got to be value-based. We just came off 4 days of teaching at the Digital Lifestyle Workshop where Rhonda and Brian were coaching my people, and we talked about 3 different layers of messaging that needs to go out. And in fact, it was Brian that brought his expertise to the last session of the last day, talking about the importance and the power of email marketing, because email marketing is it takes you one step closer to freedom. All of these, and that's how I want you guys to think about this now. Every one of these fundamental systems and or tools being in place is literally, it's like your little stepping stone to freedom. Because if you don't have a system of work there doing it for you, guess what? You have to do it. And you have to do it because it's fundamental. It's not something you can get away from. Okay, so we need that. The next thing that we need is sales funnel. You need a sales funnel. And it's an industry term, right? And I know many people would possibly get offended by the word sales, but I want you to understand what a sales funnel is, because this is the greatest asset in your business. A sales funnel allows you to filter, sort, and segment your customers into browsers, buyers, repeat customers, and lifelong raving fans. And if you don't have a sales funnel process and an autoresponder series that allows you to filter, sort, and segment, then if it's not about selling. In fact, it's the other way around. You're actually doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice to your customers, because if you've attracted someone to you, they're attracted to you because you have a message to share. You have some value to offer. And then if you haven't built up a system behind that to keep sharing your message and offering value, then guess what? They're going to go and get it from somebody else who does. Right? So we have a responsibility to service our customers, particularly if we've shouted from the rooftops about how wonderful our product and service is and how it solves people's problems. If we don't have that in place, we're actually doing a disservice. Does that make sense, Rhonda?
Absolutely. I mean, that's and I think that's too, Drew, why most people are constantly feel that they're spinning their wheels when they're looking for the right people to work with online, is because they don't get service properly. I mean, we've been working on the internet now for 10, 11 years, and that's one thing that, we always did differently, and why we've been able to build just a massive tribe of followers and those that not only have trusted us in the knowledge that we have, but it's also because we truly do care and we know what we're talking about. And we've got systems in place to help people. And I know that's why, the statistics across the internet, online, especially with online businesses and certain business models, is everyone says they fail. And the reason why they failed is not because they're not great, they're not amazing, and it's probably because they just didn't have the structures in place. They didn't have the mentor that has had the right amount of experience to help them guide them through what it takes to build these fundamental foundations, these pillars of their business.
Yeah, and because think of it like this, because most of the people on this call are valued members of your tribe. Many of them, I'd say, have been following you for years. Mm-hmm. There's probably some people who are just brand new followers, but many have been following you for years, right? And that's why they're here today. Can you imagine, just for a moment, if you actually didn't produce your second piece of content? Just imagine that you just were out there and you just produced this one bit of content and it blew everyone away and it attracted this huge audience and they wanted more. They just simply wanted more of what you had to offer, and you just stopped producing content. So I want people to actually think about that, right? Brian and Rhonda and Hannah are where they are today because they've been the example of what's possible and they've shared that with the world. And as a result of them capturing all of the moments and doing all of the training, they now have been able to assemble those experiences and the knowledge in a manner inside the academy that it can be delivered at people at the rate in which they need to consume it and learn, right? And that's all part of that process that I talked about, that, that filtering, funneling, following up, segmenting. That's really what your content is designed to do, because some people are going to look at it and go, hey, you know what, that's not for me. And that's fine. The content has served its purpose, and so has the sales funnel. Some people are going to look at it and they're going to go, wow, this is just blowing my mind. I'm going to stick around because I want more. And other people are going to become raving fans, and they're actually going to start syndicating it because they want other people to get what they've got. That's sharing the love, right? That's just such a basic concept. Share the love. If you've got something out of it, just share it with the world. And I think that's one of the fundamental things that's wrong with a lot of internet marketing, and particularly with these companies. A lot of companies grow to a size where it's almost like they're not living the truth.
Yeah.
They'll talk about freedom. They'll talk about sharing. They'll talk about caring. They'll teach strategies that enable you to do it. But at the end of the day, they actually don't really want to do that because they're consumed with their own fear and doubt. See, just by that simple act of clicking on someone's link and sharing it in a social site, that's sharing the love.
Mm-hmm.
You're expressing you're expressing to the world that you found something that you think of as is of value. And this is what these systems are all designed to do. Would you agree?
Well,
I mean, I know you're all about sharing the love.
Well, I mean, and that's why it's fun because, like you mentioned, and there's a lot of people here. By the way, guys, some of you guys are watching and you're listening to either it's the podcast or you're watching. Some of you guys are live in our chat. If you log into the chat wing, you're actually able to ask some questions. I know we have several people here, but there's hundreds that are actually watching. Feel free to log in and guys, make sure you ask some questions below if you have them. But that's exactly it. I mean, after you have this amount of experience, and then we built this tribe up, we put it inside of our new Freedom-Preneur Academy, and we're allowing people to share the love because it's opposite of what I think most of these online programs do, right? We just mentioned it. Most of these online programs people join them just to make money, but instead we want to reverse things and allow people to learn first, understand where they're at, what they need either in their personal businesses, or maybe they want to extend and grow deeper into more multiple streams of income and building upon it by maybe investing in a different business. Really learn the structure first, so then you can make a decision where you need to go. We're looking and we're changing. I want to change the mindset of people that it's let's invest high in investing into a program first and then start learning before you actually understand what's necessary.
Yeah.
That's what sharing the love is all about. Is if you're learning, share the love. Like if you love what we do, the only difference is between who you're going to learn from or what you do is who you want to learn from. So you make a choice. Now you join the tribe. We share the love with people, and then they say, thank you. You've opened my mind up to something new. You've educated me. Now I want to share the love, and that's why we've created that program for people to get inside our academy, learn, and then just share the love, because it's a beautiful way to now grow, because people now represent really what their truth is, what they came for, is to learn to build. Right? I think Swano's got his hand up, like help, I'm trying to get in.
I'm going to have a relocation. Am I like really dark?
Yeah, you're dark.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like one of those characters in I don't know. That like the little thing. I'm going to sit over here now. Three locations. We'll get this sorted out. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Much better. What's up, Swano? Swano's downstairs. I'm in the middle level, and Drew's the top level.
First level, second, and third. And you touched a little bit about this, Drew, and we've talked a lot about this over the last week that you've been here. Is some of the things that you're throwing out. We talk about autoresponders, funnel, targeting, lead magnet, tripwire. These kind of terms are like some people are like, what are you talking about? And what's been happening. What we've been talking about is like online people starting an online business. Let's revert back to the small business owner and being able to market. And when we're talking about spending $1,000 per day, that can be let's say an online marketer has a business. This could be a bar restaurant owner. This could be a person that has services. I want you to hit on that because there's so much changing now. Like, for instance, Gary Vee, he says, when I started doing my wine library, he goes, I didn't know that I was going to have a media company come out of it. It just started happening about 3 years ago, but everybody thought I was nuts. Now, in today's age, people are like, they're realizing the social media is not going away. Now I need to start taking care of that versus just word of mouth or by handing out flyers or print media. What is your take and your vision on where you see for small business owners having to be doctors, dentists, bar, restaurant owner, etc.?
Yeah, this is huge because and it allows us to actually put a stake in the ground here, guys. Many people on the call here may actually know me, and some of you would know that I'm an expert in high-ticket sales. So I work with some of the largest top-tier affiliate marketing companies, you know, working with them on their sales funnels and their sales follow-up processes and so on and so forth, and coaching their sales teams, heading their sales teams, and actually working on the phone. So I don't want people to get nervous about that or think that this call is going in any direction. Let's put a stake in the ground and recognize that the whole affiliate, the whole make money affiliate marketplace is a small slither. It's a small slither of the market. Literally, it's a little pea in the ocean. The real opportunity is actually in the small business owner and entrepreneur outside of the make money niche, because they're all around us. And most of them don't know what you know. If you're that brand new person that's just started to learn some internet marketing or online marketing jargon, so you're starting to learn the language, and beyond knowing the jargon and learning the language, you're starting to, you know, internalize the systems and procedures, well, you probably know more than 85% of small business owners out there, if not a greater percentage. So what we're starting to see is when we become effective at just marketing and being who we are, and even as, if I can say this, crazy, the life that Brian and Rhonda lead, traveling all around the world in, you know, these remote locations and living completely off the internet and spreading their, you know, spreading their love. Let's just call it spreading their love. That's still attracting the attention of some very serious business owners. Large companies, even large companies are paying attention. They're saying, hey, you know what? We've seen your marketing, and it's completely different. We've seen your marketing, and we've seen how effective it is. We've seen your marketing, and we want to know how we can actually incorporate some of what you do into what we do and what we need to do moving forward, because the times are changing, right? The times are changing. Like literally everyone. I was going to go for my phone then. Everyone has some fit-in-their-pocket type technology. The internet is all around us. Gone are the days where, you know, an everyday person needs to struggle against large corporates. You can get a fit-in-your-pocket technology. You can learn some skills in becoming effective in marketing on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And if you're prepared to put a little bit of time into that, you can pretty much do it on a free budget for free, but you just have to manage your expectation of time and results. And that's where skills development and core competencies come into play. But if you're prepared to do that with a fit-in-your-pocket technology, with those types of skills development, with free applications, you can be of service to pretty much any small business owner or entrepreneur in the world. And even then, starting to bridge the gap between mid-sized corporations and the big end of town. You see, the big end of town has the big budgets to go and spend with large media companies. And for a whole bunch of reasons, probably many of them egotistical, they'll go with big end of town marketing firms. And that leaves the whole small to medium enterprise marketplace open to anyone on this call that's prepared to develop some skills and competencies, become effective, message in an authentic way, and you don't even necessarily then need to be involved in make money. So it's not about the make money niche. It's simply about this enormous opportunity that exists in the digital economy. And when I use the term digital economy, what I'm talking about is a business that can leverage the power of the internet and reach a global market. I'm talking about a business that can tap into a huge niche within that, which is e-learning and e-education, which is all about sharing the love. It's about learning something and communicating your take on that to the world. So it's enormous. And, you know, Brian, you and I have had an experience with that just this last week, right? Can you hear?
You're muted.
No, absolutely. And you know, that is where things are going. It's the social media is just opening the doors to what is possible. And what you're saying is like the big time media companies, they're not there. It's right now. It's such an infinite stage where they know how to market in a certain way. But like now, for instance, when Kim meeting him, like his business is just boom by connecting with those small business owners. Right? They have no idea what an autoresponder funnel, retargeting. But when you do understand it, it's powerful as crap, and that's the things they cannot do in print media, TV, etc. There's like all these ninja tricks, but like where do you start, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you know, too, and we're gonna have we're having a little side circular chat here. Is you know, there are these media companies out there, but when a small business owner hires a small media company, you got to think about it. You're just a customer, and you're just a number, really. And what I think that where small business owners are starting to come into connection, where we're getting, especially a lot of people that are connecting with us, because we are living it, we're in that heartbeat. You know, when you've got people that are not just hired to do things, but they're actually currently doing it, you begin to start seeing the shift of knowledge and more connection. You know, I mean, social media ends up being so automated these days. When you're hiring out, you know, big publishing companies or big ad agencies, instead, you know, look for those that are really that are in it, that are actually living it, because it allows a company, especially a small business owners, to not only learn, but to become more of a heartbeat. It lets their business become more real to their customers when they're really, truly, they're connected to the steps that they're taking in their social media.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just funny that we're all here in Bali this week, and we've met I've met some wonderful people that you've been able to you know, to really have an impact on. You know, can we talk about the case in point where you help the small business owner market their villa here in Bali? Like that is just a classic example of the small business owner crashing with the online world, seeing the necessity for the online assets, the importance of how the online assets leveraged in the right way can completely revolutionize their small business, right?
Absolutely. Even Tom and Inge are actually listening to the show because they're, you know, part of the tribe and they've been inside of the academy. But it just really started from that relationship of recognizing, just talking with them. They were just missing those core elements on how to actually see more people, how to connect to more people using Facebook, using a simple method of just targeting the audience that could possibly want to rent and lease their villa, and then helping them in the understanding of building a blog so that they can, you know, be able to target what they believe in, what their villa is all about, so they can send people there. Just those little simple things that we made adjustments to in their business. You know, same thing we were working with the two German guys that we met that were here to offer healing inversion services to the Bali Spirit Festival. They had no idea how to leverage Facebook, how to find the right connections, but just that little bit of knowledge made them one of the busiest booths in the Bali Spirit Festival, because they were able to share what they do on Facebook with the people before they arrived at the Bali Spirit Festival. I mean, that's just understanding your customer, knowing where to find them, and knowing where they're looking and how to get in front of them first so that they choose you and your service over price. That's it. It's being able to be identified in your niche, whatever marketplace you're in, and being chosen over someone else, not just because of price. Because if you're the same as everyone else, that's why I'm so passionate about branding and niche marketing. Because when you stand out over and above everyone else, now you're chosen because they trust you, your values, your business, the services you offer, and now you have and stand out over and above everyone else. And otherwise, we are just chosen over price. Who wants to be chosen over price?
Yeah. So that sort of, if I can lead off again, because I need to finish. I need to close the loop on why the question. I think the question about an hour ago is, why do most people struggle? We're getting there. So the next thing that I see, the next couple of elements that I think are really important, and they might be just, you know, a few steps down the road. They don't have to be there from day one, but they certainly should be part of the plan once we know what is the right strategy for someone moving forward. Is that the sales funnel needs to take the people into an environment where the experience or the product can be consumed, right? And you can start to offer more transformative value, right? So what I'm talking about now is a membership site, right? And it's a key element. Usually at the end of any effective sales funnel, unless it's just a simple, call to action and you're selling a one-time product, is that you want your customer now to experience it in an environment that you can continue to add massive value in, okay? And the product obviously needs to offer massive transformative value. Now, the reason why I'm raising that is because, in my world, in the online alliance world and the sales funnels that I've been recently building for my customers at the Digital Lifestyle Workshop, we actually built a little membership area that had a blueprint in it that educated people on the core fundamental elements that are required to start, grow, and scale an online business. So we created a little training product within a membership area. And the thing that, this is probably a good sort of segue point to just sort of talk about why there's so much synergy between what you're doing and what I've been doing, and why we've sort of come together. Because I've got to tell you, and this is credit where credit's due, guys, when you showed me the academy, I was blown away. Like, I was blown away. And then when you showed me how you were organizing it into categories of information, then the only missing piece that I could see was how we were going to not overwhelm people, because there's just so much valuable content there. So the academy in its current form, it'll never be in its final form. The academy in its form today is an incredible resource. So the moment I saw it, I could see that there wasn't a necessity for me to duplicate your effort, and that's where the alliance and the Freedom-Preneur movement really come together. That's where we're a living example of collaboration in an environment that there's trust, right? Because I can fully trust sending my tribe, my community, into the Freedom-Preneur Academy, and that's where I want them to consume the amazing content that you've put together, and that's why I want to be a contributor along with other experts to enhancing the value in there, because the platform at the moment is extraordinary, and like I said, it's a never-ending story. We'll just continue to develop cutting-edge training products, cutting-edge thinking, whatever needs to go in there to make sure that it is the best representation of not only the starting point, but what any entrepreneur would need on their entrepreneurial journey, right? So membership site, it's really key, and the reason why it's key is because, this, I don't want this to be a contradiction, because you can control. I'm going to use the word control, but I mean it in the right way. You can control the message. You can control what people consume. You can make sure that you can filter out all of the BS and give people the stuff that really works. That's what I mean by control, and that's what I love about memberships sites that are private membership sites. All right, so that's the next element, and then moving on from there, just in terms of the sales process, I'm still a fan of webinars. I don't see webinars or hangouts ever going away. I don't see them ever going away, because it's important that we find ways to leverage our time. So one of the most highest leverage activities that you can do as a business owner online is leverage technology to reach an audience en masse. All right, there's a time and a place for one-on-one. There's a time and a place for small group workshops, and there's also a time and a place to bring people en masse to hear your message. So the other thing too that I think is important is that we work with people to help them develop meaningful, hangout formats, meaningful webinar formats to allow them to share their message with their audience and on a global scale. All right, and that's one way in which you can leverage your time in the sales process as well. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean I mean this is how the knot is tied. And we're actually getting a pretty cool little chat run from everyone else. I want to actually address a few things because everyone's like, yeah, you know, these elements are everyone is really required to have, and I think Tom brought up something very valuable that, you know, we never leave out, which is really understanding our impacts of all of the elements that ties all of this together. When you're a business owner and you are, you know, building these structures, the start point has to be, and this is why we always start with the very first pillar, which is, you know, personal development and really self. Unless you really understand who you are, you know, where you come from, what your values are in your business, what you believe in, none of that matters. None of it's going to matter, and because we have to focus on that, you know, what are the values that we hold, and then once you get what your why is, you know, I use, in fact, one of the first lessons that I actually put in the academy is really about starting with why, and I use the golden circle from Simon Sinek. You know, everyone knows what we do, how we do it. Why we do it is the core element, and it ties every one of these structures and, you know, all these systems together. And until we get that piece, we can never get to the actual structure piece. So Tom, thank you for really, you know, bringing that up, because, you know, that's, I think, what so many people do is they jump in to, I got to get the marketing and the structures and the foundations, you know, set up, when they forget why they're really doing what they do. It's because you truly love what you're doing. You want to bring better value to the world.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to skip over that one. I'm an evolved human. You know, like, my reason why is so core to everything that I do. In fact, but my why's not here. You know, like, I do everything just as you do for the family. Everything. It's all, for me, it's about, you know, family time. It's about real life experiences, giving the kids the best education they can, and just, you know, here's the reality. Just making sure that I'm the happiest dad I can be. Because there's so many dads out there that aren't happy because they're doing the grind and they take that energy back home. So, you know, one of the greatest benefits that this business has given me is, you know, like, is to be at peace and to be happy. And don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not happy and lazy. I probably work harder than most people. In fact, I pride myself on outworking people. But that's why I'm able to do what I do. I know Rhonda and I often chat about this, because she's like, damn, I work harder than anyone around here. And I'm like, no, you don't. Stand in line. I'm working harder than you.
You know, and it also comes from its true heart and passion of what we believe in. You know, I know that if I'm a good example to Hanalei, that I build my own and I serve others, right, then that's going to come back to me, and she, in return, will be the most heart-centered, genuine human being on the planet. And that's my responsibility, right? So we do, and Inge just said, you know, you guys, you do what you teach, and we do, because I will work extremely hard to not only develop myself, but to know that because of these elements that I've learned and these structures and these strategies that I've learned, if I can help teach other people, their families will be better. So I will be willing to work harder, to stay up later, because I am on such a deep internal mission. You know, this academy that we recently released, and some of you guys, feel free, you can join us. You know, there's some people may have invited you to this call. They actually have a Share the Love link. Just want you to know that. This is not a network marketing company at all, but this is a way for them to share the love with you if they invited you, so I want you to know that. But we developed this because I want to be able to share this and help other people get into this space where they can talk in a call like this, they can share their wisdom, and they can learn. And the more I know that I'm able to put everything that's in my heart inside of a program for other people, more people will learn and they'll leverage and they'll do the same thing. That's really the mission. So
Exactly.
I know that Brian, you know, shares the same values that we have. And, you know, and many of you guys that are listening or you're live right now, you know, thank you guys for being here, because certainly everything that we do and you can bring to the table and build this tribe up of what needs or what you have, the more we're able to help serve you more. There's a couple people people that were asking, there was a question that Kelly asked this, and I think it's a great question. And then, guys, we're going to close up this call. We'll see you guys, of course, inside of our private Facebook group. Feel free to share this, share the love with this call if you like, if it helps other people. You can join us inside our academy if you'd like. We will be doing an official release very shortly because we have a lot of new things, a lot of these sales funnels and this done-for-you service stuff we talked about today that we're going to be releasing to help people leverage and learn from. But Kelly asked this question, is that she spent a lot of time in the NAC in Robbins' world. I'm not sure what NAC is, but I know the Tony Robbins world, I believe, and many other coaching worlds. But since learning, where'd she go? She just dropped, the question went down. Since learning the strategies of sales, she's had a guilt about high-ending people and creating funnels. How do you move past that when service is more important than money, people as pounds, if that makes any sense? I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, okay. No, I can deal with this because this is something that I had to wrestle with myself. Yep. Right? Because in 2009 when I got started, I pretty quickly within that year became a top income earner, and I was honoured to actually be on leadership with Brian and Rhonda because I met them for the very first time at that first event, and I was the new kid on the block, and I just thought, well, actually, that's not true. I heard Rhonda before I saw her. So I heard her from about halfway across the other side of the pool, and then I saw her, and then I could see this little huddle of crazy leadership people, and they were talking jargon, and I looked over and I thought, that's the group that I need to be in. I need to be with those guys because they sound like they know what they're talking about. And they're the loudest people at the pool. So anyway, since I first met them, it took me about a year to hit my income goals and to come on leadership and then be serving with them side by side. And in the next year, I really struggled with what you're talking about right now because I found that it was that I could find ways to put systems and processes together to make money, but my people struggled. And a lot of what you're hearing about today is actually being driven by the experiences that we had back then. Because we're in a unique time right now in human history where this fit-in-pocket technology and pretty much most of these apps are free, allow us to put a lot of this stuff together that seriously, if you just put a little bit of time and effort and money in on your part to learn these new skills and competencies, can be absolutely life-changing for you if you have the right coaching and mentoring and guidance to just show you the path. Okay, but back to answer the question, what you need to recognize is that if you're heart-centered, so maybe the company that you're with is not the right fit. Okay, so this comes down to what's important to you, and we get to the heart of that in a strategy session. But if you're coming from a heart-centered place, then you will develop a ascension business model that offers transformative value. And if you don't and or can't come to peace with that, then that just tells me you have some more personal development work to do on yourself, and I mean that with respect. And the reason why I say that is because if it's heart-centered transformative value, right, if that product set that's ascending in value is actually servicing and or meeting the needs of your customer, then it's back to my original comment. If you don't have that, then you're doing them a disservice, and you need to realize that. Think about it. Think about how many times that you've been in a situation where you've wanted to buy something and you felt underserviced and you wish they were able to offer you more. That you've actually bought let's just call it a front-end product, only to hope that they had somewhere else to take you, but they didn't have anything else to offer you. Now, I've experienced that. I've experienced that where I've bought, like a $97 training product, and I'm like going, God damn, how good is this? And then I'm thinking, what have you got? Have you got, what's the next step? Where can you take me on this journey? It's a bit like you've sort of given me a little snippet, but you haven't given me enough. So I feel I feel disserviced. So first things first, you have to look at your own personal development and where you are, and you've got to come to peace with this whole notion of selling, right? Because it's all more about providing transformative value. You then have to reconcile, are you actually with the right company, and are you working with the right business model that's the right fit for you based on your perspective of integrity? Because, hey, that's a hairy word. You know, how you feel about things is slightly different to everyone else, right? That's the second thing. And then you need to, if you're a business owner on the call right now, if you don't understand what ascension is, if these terms are, you know, like freaking you out, you need to get with Brian and Rhonda with a follow-up, because we can take a look at your traditional business really quickly and assess really quickly, you know, what your front-end offer is, and then potentially how we can re-engineer your business to bundle other products and services of ascending value to actually further provide a better service to your customer. And sometimes it's just bundling together what you already have, right? It's just a smart way to go about it. Rhonda, I haven't touched on, I don't know whether you want me to go, well, why would you do this, and get into the whole thing of economics. Can we leave that for another call?
Yeah, I think that we'll do that again. We've been on it for an hour and a half, but lots of people are really pleased with the content.
Okay.
You know, this is not the last time we'll be having this conversation. But I would like to, you know, and obviously invite you guys. Feel free to join us inside of the Academy, because we will be actually filming some of these specific, you know, calls and education pieces inside for the Academy this Friday, because there's some necessary areas of understanding really, you know, what specific business model people want to choose. And we do have a strategy session with you guys. We're here to help you grow, and that's really the objective, is to help, you know, allow us to, I'm just going to mute you out for Drew just because of the wind. You can unmute in just a moment if you like. But to really help you grow, and that's why we come together. Of course, we've aligned together, and why we've put not only the Academy together, but why our tribe is really here to now do something different, so we can not only assess where you're at, like Drew mentioned, but really help you build, whether it is in a new ascension model, into what you're currently doing, help you organize, help you take what your current business and where it's at, and where to bring it into a more of a profitable, maybe more of an automated machine. I know that Tom mentioned that. He's like, they're just learning, you know, a lot of this online marketing for their villa business, but now they need to build in this, you know, automation, which is allowing those emails to work for their customers as they come in the front end, allowing them to now automatically be communicated with, so that when your customer is ready to buy from you, then you pick up the phone. We're not doing a lot of manual work. I think that's an element that a lot of business owners leave out. They're doing a lot of manual work, and where we can create systems, put systems in place for that. And now we're putting together strategies to help people get there. And that's why we implement what's called a strategy session. Right when you register, you're able to communicate and connect with Brian, with Drew, with myself, so we can go, okay, where do you need to go? What's necessary for you? Is it a live event, right? Because now live events, we just put together a full encompassed business in a box model for these last 10 VIPs that we'll be sharing and introducing to some people that may need that. Or is it, do you want to go to a live workshop because you need to learn a bit more about Facebook marketing or how to put your blog together? So these are the type of things that we're putting together as a whole for our tribe, so that you guys can grow and to build at your level and at your pace that's needed for you.
Can I and just in closing, and then I'll hand it back to you. I just realised that we've spent a lot of the call, you know, talking about servicing the needs of, you know, traditional business owners and entrepreneurs, and how that represents, you know, a greater portion of the market, and the fact that we believe in, you know, supporting people to develop branded assets that support them in their own right outside of any income opportunity. If you are on the call and you are in an income opportunity, I don't want you to feel alienated. I don't want you to think, oh, hey, you know, last week he was the high-ticket guy and now he's completely turning his back on that. I don't want you to think that at all. That's not what this call was about, and we're certainly not poo-pooing, you know, network marketing or multi-level marketing or high-ticket offers. In fact, for many people, it's the right fit to get started. And on a strategy session, I can tell you the reasons why, and I can show you the evolution of a freedompreneur and how potentially you can start out down that path and then, step into your own power, start developing your own products, and then we can help you come, back around to the full freedompreneur side of the ledger, so to speak, if there was one. So if you are on the call and you're in a company or you're in a deal and it's not working for you, then I'm more than happy to do a strategy session with you, because like Rhonda said, I know all of the companies, I've worked with thousands of people, I know all of their income models intimately, I've coached many of their people, so I'd be happy to chat with you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is just this is where we're coming from, our heart-centered service, that, when people have a need, we want to help serve that, opposed to just selling and offering things. I think that's where Kelly was coming from, is that's Kelly, we agree that that's a lot of areas where those companies and, different programs come from. It's more of a sale opposed to really, is this something someone needs? Because when it services them, then there's no problem with investment or offering a higher ticket program or advice or done-for-you service that people invest in, and we agree with you. So I think this call is phenomenal. I know we've got thousands of people. Do you want to jump in again?
I was just going to say, yesterday, this is just to speak about that, because I think I've got the right answer that I didn't find before. It all depends on what's in your heart. Seriously, it all depends on what's in your heart. Yesterday, the greatest compliment was paid to me by Solomon, who headed up all of the videography and filming on the Digital Lifestyle Workshop. And Solomon is actually the film guy for many of these deals around town. He actually goes in and does a lot of their product videos and a lot of films, a lot of their incentive programs. And he said to me, he said, Drew, whilst this was a small boutique workshop and there was only 10 people there, we recommend that, he said, I recommend that you keep these very, very small and intimate and boutique. He said, because you're onto something here. You guys, he said, this is a completely different energy. He said, I can see that you guys are actually really all about heart-centered leadership and helping people, as opposed to these other companies. It's all about the money. And that's the difference. If you build an ascension business model to service your customers, is it going to be profitable? Absolutely it is. Should you feel good about that? Absolutely you should, if it provides transformative value.
Perfectly said. We couldn't close on a better note, unless Swano, of course, has something you'd like to close with.
Time for breakfast.
Yeah, beetle nut. If any of you guys have ever visited us.
Beetle nut.
Beetle nut. But anyway, at any rate, guys, Drew, thank you for not only your service. We're very excited for what we're doing moving forward. We're excited for you all to not only share the love, but so there's a couple things that, right, at this point, certainly join us in the Academy. We want you to be part of our world and where we're coming from. A lot of new things are going to be coming out from the Freedom-Preneur movement, of course, with our relationship with Drew. And Drew did offer, if there is, so those of you that once you get inside the Academy, we'll do a strategy session, and then there is a need for you to connect at a higher level with Drew so that you can dig deeper into an additional business model or helping you take it to that ascension level. That's why we're partnering, because we know that there is value in everything that we do, and we want to help walk you through and then help you be the solution for you to ascend into your business model. And if it means I help you ascend in your business model, meaning you have something to offer up front, then maybe you have additional programs and products and services that you want to offer, and then it's events, that's where it ascends to, or it ascends into a different business model, whether it mean high ticket, whether it mean looking at and understanding what these other programs are about. That's why we've come together, because we have not only 30 plus years of expertise, but our tribe members and our leaders are here to assist and to serve you, and that's why we've created not only this Academy, our tribe, the movement, the Freedom-Preneur movement, but now the relationship with Drew and the Alliance. And I think it's probably one of the most incredible relationships and partnerships you will see on the online world, because we have relationships and partnerships. We know everyone in the internet, right? We know everyone in the internet world. And we want to help point you in the right direction, whether it means a service, a product, or an offer, but help you guys grow your business. So we're excited to have you joining us. Well, I think we say, Swana, did you want to close up with some things? You've been rather quiet. Are you good to go?
It's hard to get a word in between with you, honey, but no, it's the last thing I would like to. No, it's been amazing, and I tell you what, it does add a whole new dimension between myself, Rhonda, our tribe, and then having you, Drew, and knowing you guys, knowing not only you guys as family, but business, sharing the same values for the last 7 years. You only get a certain amount of these opportunities to actually, thousands of people are going to run through your life, and these are one-in-a-lifetime types of opportunities to actually collaborate with you, both on business and family. And last thing I want to mention, because we talked about the events. Drew, you guys are going to be hosting some live events coming up in Australia, right? Little mini.
Yeah. My goal moving forward from May is that because I just think given maybe we'll get one in the last week of April, but anyway, the goal is moving forward. We're going to start doing one-day workshops, digital lifestyle workshops, that are going to showcase just the core fundamentals and competencies, and when a workshop for me is not like a mastermind. It's not where it's potentially theoretical or personal development. A workshop's a workshop. We get in there and we take a look at where your business is at. We teach you the core fundamentals. We talk about tools and resources that you might need. Showcase some key trainings, and we're just putting the final touches on what that one-day format would look like. Even if it's a long day, even if it's like an early start, a later finish, because I think if you can be really impactful in one day and not have to do 2 days, I think people appreciate that as well, because most people want family time on the weekend as well. So we're going to be doing those initially up the east coast of Australia, and then we'll get across to Perth and Adelaide. And then the reality is, we'll probably find people that will become instrumental in my vision of the Alliance and the relationship with Freedom-Preneur, to be able to offer similar sorts of one-day workshops in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving up from that, it will be our sort of signature 4-night, 3-day, all-inclusive workshop style of event. That we'll probably need to massage that, because Brian, Rhonda, and I will debrief now that we've got Bali behind us, and sort of figure out what is the ultimate format to bring to market, and then we'll be doing more of those, and then I think that will culminate in probably an annual mastermind or a leadership type cruise, something like that.
Yeah, that's, Drew, I've been, sharing this with our tribe, and we'll be heading to Dubai in May for the live speakers event to not only help train our tribe and those that would like to be high-end speakers, but I'm going there also to be planning that big end-of-year event in Dubai. So put it in your calendars, everyone, for a Freedom-Preneur / Alliance event in Dubai, end of November or early December, to start putting that in your mental mindset, because that's the culmination of a year. That's the building of a year of these small events, building on the academy, building on these one-day events, building on these micro workshops that turn a business into a box and walk away with all your assets. And we want to culminate at the end of the year, so I'm already making them nail it down. I'm just putting it out to existence now.
No, November sounds good. I might be fresh out of my Brendan Bouchard boot camp, and there might be a new version of me.
I think I may want to join you for that one. That one's in Australia, right?
I think it's actually going to be in the US.
Is it?
If it's in Australia, happy days.
Either way. But guys, all right, so this has been a great day. We could sit here and chat, but Drew's upstairs, Brian's in the middle, Regina and Mike are downstairs. I think it's time for us all to actually go to breakfast together, so we can
Eat on that.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's call. If you're watching live, we salute you. Thank you for being here, Salamat Pagio, and Salamat. See, we're Pagiying right now, yeah. Suksuma, which is thank you. Good morning and thank you. Or Salamat Siam if you're around the world. Or Malam if it's the nighttime for you. But at any rate, guys, thank you for being here. If you are listening in the podcast, please share this with other people. And if you are watching the replay, join us live so then we can get your questions answered and be part of the hot seats and get our guests to answer your questions for you directly. But guys, have a great one. And as always, be unstoppable!
Bye for now.